When Enzo first founded Ferrari, he started with almost all front-engine V12 cars. Then, when Fiat took over in the 70s, they developed a mid-engine car. It wasn't until Maranello took over the company in the late 90s that they started back with the true Ferrari tradition of front-engine V12s. He started with the 550 Maranello and then later developed the 575. Now, these cars have a lot of similarities, but a lot of differences too. I'm gonna go take them for a drive and then show you guys exactly what makes each car different and what they have in common. The 550 Maranello started Ferrari's tradition of optioning up their cars. It used to be what color exterior and what color interior do you want. Now the options are almost endless. From shields, calipers, contrast stitching, you can get so many options tailored to fit whatever you desire. Now this car in particular has modular rims, which means it's a multi-piece rim that makes it lighter weight. It also has the red contrast stitching, Daytona seats, red calipers, fender shields, and a couple other options. Being able to add options to your car makes them very tailored to you. It's a little bit of a money-making scheme from Ferrari's end, but they're Ferrari, they can kind of do whatever they want. Plus, when you go and buy a new car, you can have it tailored so that it's exactly what you want and you drive off the lot very happy.
One of the things I love about driving modern Ferraris is all the creature comforts that the cars come with, like having AC on a hot day. The older cars don't have AC, some of them don't even have power steering, and if you're in a Daytona on a hot day and you don't have AC and you have to lug that heavy car around without power steering, especially in Southern California at low speeds, it can get quite tedious. So having a modern car where you can just turn on the AC, turn on your radio and go is definitely a plus, a bonus.
Now what's the difference like in feeling with driving the 575 versus the 550?
So the big difference, of course, between the 575 and 550 is the stick shift. The 575s, they're a little bit lurchy when they shift, but not bad, especially once you get up to speeds. If you have heavy traffic on the 405 and it's bumper to bumper, then the first couple gears are a little lurchy and it's not a very comfortable drive, but also sometimes it's better to have a paddle shift than have to try and deal with a stick shift in traffic. So, and at high speeds, which is where it really counts in a Ferrari, it's some people just love the manual feel, the mechanical just ability to run through the gears, and especially if that's something you grew up with or something that if you did any racing, there's just a different feeling about driving a stick. It's incredible. But step on the throttle on this thing and you are getting launched. So they both have ample power. That just becomes one of those preference things to. And I mean, the price point, if you really don't care, then the 575 is a little bit less expensive. So
isn't the 575 a newer car?
Yeah, but because because the 550s were all stick and they were the last of the 100% stick front engine Ferraris. After that, the 575, the 599, the F12, all of those are almost all paddle shift. So the F50, the 550 is the last stick car basically. And so it makes it more valuable to those who care about that kind of thing. Right.
How does it feel like handling, like driving? Like, does it feel like you're sticking to the ground like other cars that you've driven?
Yeah, I mean, it's the 599s. The 550s and 575s are bigger cars, heavier. So they have a very luxurious feel in the sense that if you're driving a 430, you're small, you're super low to the ground, you're super kind of lightweight and nimble and quick. This car feels more solid and kind of like you just want to get in the car and go to Vegas. You know, you just want to go for a long, comfortable drive. And especially if you can, you know, go to Vegas, you can open up the car and just really test out its
capabilities. Cars that could drive all the way to Vegas?
Yes, it's reliable. I would not do that in like a 308 or one of the older cars. I wouldn't trust it to, I mean, a lot of them probably could make it there, but
you don't want to risk it.
Yeah. I mean, some people do, but I don't, because I've gotten I've gotten dumped on the side of the road by too many cars in my lifetime. And the nice thing about the 550s, 575s is, for the most part, I mean, I've never really had too many issues with them. Besides, if they sit for a while, the battery goes dead, which is why God invented battery tenders. So we'll see. Okay, like on this turn, you know.
Whoa, that is tight.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is.
See, it just feels like.
Yeah, it
nice.
sticks.
Yeah.
Like, I keep like expecting to feel a little top heavy and like. Whoa.
That's a cool thing about Ferraris is they are very, very well balanced. Even though this has a super long nose and is very, you know, and it's V12 stuck in the front, Ferrari still does a good job at balancing their cars to where they're not too front heavy or rear heavy, or especially with their mid-engine cars. Those were almost perfectly balanced. These, yeah, they're a little front heavy, but not bad. And it just makes it to when you drive, you do feel stuck to the ground. You feel like you're in control, and you can push it a little extra, and you have the power to do it. So it makes it very tempting to drive in a way that would make police officers upset with you. Now that we've had a chance to drive the car around for a little bit, and it's been a wonderful experience, we're gonna head back to the showroom. Let me know in the comments if you guys like us talking about the driving experience while in the car, or if you prefer just seeing the whole car and talking about it back at the showroom, or, you know, somewhere outside of the car. So whichever one you prefer will do. We're happy to drive the car around and talk about the experience.
After driving both cars, I can say that there's not a huge power difference. The 575 is a 5.7 liter and 515 horsepower, but they kind of have the same power, not huge difference. The big difference in the two cars is the gated shift in the 550 and the paddle shifters in the 575. It's a whole different driving experience. Now, visually, the cars are very similar. There's a lot of little details that you can initially look at the cars and know the difference, such as the headlights on each car are different. This one has 3 round lights, whereas the 550 has 2 round lights and a triangular side light. Also, the grills on the two cars are very different. The 575 is a little taller and a little shorter, whereas the 550 is longer and a little more narrow. The 550 and 575 interiors are also very similar, but they have their subtle differences. The 550 dash is one solid color, whereas the 575 has a contrast color on top. Usually the top will be black, and the interior, like on this car, the rest of it's all tan. Also, the instrument clusters on each car are very different. The 550 is a little more simplistic, while the 575 has a couple more instruments and looks a little more crowded. Another difference is the door panels have 2 separate designs. So if you're to look into the two cars, those are a couple subtle differences, so you can tell the two apart. There you have the subtle differences between the 575 and the 550. Hopefully, next time you see them out on the street, you'll be able to tell which one is which. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please subscribe, because we're coming out with at least a new video every single week.